starting with Wyoming. I mean, obviously they got a tough team. Wyoming's always been a tough team. These guys, man, the way they train, the way, they've always been trained to finish up the season. So we knew they were a tough team going in. Our guys came in, 41-49 were my most disappointing matches of that day. I expected those guys to wrestle a lot better. But everything else, we called into play and everything like that. But once again, guys still showed up to wrestle, even though we're the underdogs. Same as Utah Valley. It was a good senior day. You got to give it to the guys. We went 5-5. And, once again, teaching our guys the importance of bonus points, whether you go get them or, you don't give them, if you lose. If you lose a match, but don't give up bonus points because that could be the difference between a duel. But, man, I was proud of our guys, man. They wrestled. It was good, for the two seniors, for Dom to cap his off, and for Rushton, to be his former teammate. So that was big for those guys now as we get ready to close up on Air Force and head into the postseason.
Awesome. First question here, Coach. You mentioned the close duels between the two programs. How does a close duel like Utah Valley simulate the intensities you'll see against Air Force and even later in the Big 12?
Man, I mean, at the end of the day, it's about heart right now. Everybody's tired, everybody's hurt, everybody's banged up. Like I've said to my guys, complainers are going to complain and competitors are going to compete. Everybody got problems. Now, you've been going hard. Our guys have been going hard since September. So I can understand, you always hear that statement, only the strong survive. Now, this is March Madness is about to kick in, and many guys are so quick to say March Madness, but they really don't understand, what that really means. Is some people going home mad and sad, you're not promising anything. You got to finish strong. And so at the end of the day, I tell our guys, you want to have another month of wrestling left, starting with this weekend and Big 12s and National. Those are the tournaments you want to finish up with.
You touched on it briefly here, but how do you balance staying healthy while competing at a high level this late in the season? Well,
that goes to the individuals, man. We're not overtraining. We're not killing these guys. A lot of these guys, like I said, this is their first time in the lineup, so they really haven't had to wrestle from November to March. A lot of times these guys were backups, so the focus wasn't on them. Now the focus is on them. Got to make weight every week, sometimes twice in a couple days. So that's a mental deal. And a lot of these guys, besides Dom and, Rushton and Murph, at the end of the day, that's summer training. That's summer training of working on your mind and sharpening your tools. So at the end of the day, a lot of these guys are getting that. So they're getting a taste. Hey, it's important to finish strong because nobody cares how you do during the season. They care, hey, how'd you do at Nationals? That's the question they're going to ask. And you can give all the excuses all you want. So we train smart, and then a lot of that is putting yourself in good position. You can't put yourself in these bad positions, giving up head position and letting guys get to your legs, and you wonder why your knees hurt. So being smart of finishing matches through and situations through.
And going back to the Utah Valley duel here, how valuable is it for you guys to experience matches that come down to a few key situations?
I mean, that's how Nationals is won. Positions, a few positions, and capitalizing on. You look at Dom, his season, those top guys, Dom didn't blow him out. Dom won a few positions that got him to win the match, and that's what it is. You got your few guys that can just dominate everybody, but then you got majority of the guys that you lost a position. That's what cost you that match, and whether it's overtime, whether it's by a point or last second, that position. And we preach on that in the wrestling room. Do not compromise your position.
And Coach, looking ahead here, heading to Air Force for your final duel of the season before conference, anything to know about the Air Force duel?
I mean, which Coach, man, we're big fans of Sam. He's doing a good job down there. At the end of the day, it's no different than the other duels. I mean, they're going to come out. I'm sure it's their senior night. They're going to come out swinging. So at the end of the day, you don't disrespect. You can't never disrespect Air Force, Army, or Navy. But I tell these guys, hey, you got to go let loose on these guys because they're gonna come and defend their base. And so at the end of the day, it'd be good to get a win, a victory, you know, as we go into the postseason and everything. And that can be, you know, a mind reset for guys of saying, okay, hey, we finished that season up. Now let's get ready for this postseason.
Question from Ann Delaney. Will everyone in the lineup go to Big 12, and how do you expect to do there?
So everyone, I mean, obviously, you know, if you don't have any injuries or anything like that, because injuries can happen in a duel, injuries can happen in a practice. So a lot of times the lineup, what you're seeing in these last duels will be that Big 12 duels. We might have a rustle off here and there, but at the end of the day, 10 guys go to Big 12, but only the few go to nationals. So that's the qualifying, but we will have 10 guys going to Big 12.
And one other question here. How is Dom wrestling now, and can he compete again for conference and national titles?
Of course. I mean, once again, like I've said, Dom knows he's his biggest opponent. He's his biggest encourager too. When Dom wants to wrestle, he'll go wrestle. If he doesn't, he won't. And at the end of the day, you know, he's been there. He's seasoned. He knows what it takes. He knows he has to defend that. But being in defense, we don't want you in defense mode. You know, we still want you on the attack mode and letting them know, hey, I got to go get 2. I can't just settle for 1. But Dom has bigger goals. It ain't just about a Big 12 championship. He got a taste of that. Now it's about leaving his legacy and getting All-American status, putting himself in those finals, because that is something he has fallen short of. And that's why he came in shape, ready to go, because that was something he remembered from last March. And at the end of the day, he said Big 12 felt good, don't get it twisted, but he would trade that Big 12 in for an All-American, you know, because that's a harder status. That's, you know, only the few get that. So Dom has set himself up real well this season, man. He comes in, he works hard, he doesn't complain, he does the small things right. He's what a coach wants in a leader. And too many guys want what he has, you know, but they're not willing to put in the work and the pain, go through the pain of what he does.